welcome to a special edition of the Daily Deuce. I'm Gary Graves from just outside lovely Louisville, Kentucky. In Maryland, we have John Webster. I'll throw it to John in a minute, but this is a special edition because today we're going to talk about the NFC East and another preseason preview. John, you take over from here and introduce our esteemed guest.
Hey, Gary, thanks a lot, man, and welcome everybody to another special edition. This is our third edition for the NFC East analysis preview. Today, we're going to talk about the Philadelphia Eagles, and we're going to talk about them with our special guest, who is the Reverend Dr. Jesse Clay Jr. of Jehovah Christian Ministries. Jesse, welcome to the show today, man. Thank you for coming here.
Thank you, John and Gary. Thanks for inviting me. It's my pleasure to be on your show. I've been watching it for, I guess, since you started, and I've caught several episodes, and I'm very happy to be on one, and I'm glad to be able to talk about the Philadelphia Eagles.
Well, we're glad to have you, man. This is an honor and a treat for Gary and I. We greatly appreciate it. Also, Jesse has a show on WBGR TV called The Brothers, which airs on Wednesdays. And we're going to give you a couple minutes, Jesse. Tell us about Jehovah Christian Ministries. Tell us about the TV show, The Brothers.
Well, I'm the pastor of Jehovah Christian Ministries. We're getting ready to celebrate our 18th year. We're located at 1420 Ritchie Marlboro Road, Unit B8 in Capitol Heights, Maryland, right across from the Wawa on the Walker Mill Road. And we're just a non-denominational church. We're a small church. We just love to praise the Lord, and we do a lot of big things. Matter of fact, we do a lot of big things with John in terms of Thanksgiving and Christmas. And thanks to John, for the last couple of years, he has helped us give toys to a lot of needy kids, and some maybe not needy, but we give toys to kids. I always tell the church that I can't remember any kid that turned down a toy. And so we give out toys, and we give out baskets, and we help John with his major basket giveaway, right? And it is major because he does baskets over in the Eastern Shore, in DC, in Maryland. So we help out there too. So we thank God for him. The Brothers Show is we've been doing this show, I believe we're working on our 5th year this year. And we do a lot of topics, a lot of information. We do some gospel. We do interviews primarily, interview people who have new things happening, you know, writing books, doing albums, or what we call CDs now. And we also interview individuals concerning substance abuse and people who are on the street doing major things. And so it's been a very beneficial show. Me and my brother, Reverend Leonard Clay, we constitute the Brothers Show. He's my brother, 7 years younger. And this gives us an opportunity to continue to be together. You know, when he was growing up, he was 7 years younger, which really means that we didn't really hang out too much when we were younger. I was in high school, he was in elementary school. I was in college, he was in junior high school. So, but as we got older, we've been able to hang out. And this is one of the ways that we actually do that. And it's been a blessing. It's been an opportunity to share information to quite a few people in across the country, actually, from coast to coast and border to border. So that's the Brothers Show. And in November, I believe it'll be 5 years.
Great. Well, congratulations to you on 5 years, Jesse. That's great with the Brothers Show. I try to catch as many episodes as I possibly can. I always enjoy it. And Jehovah Christian Ministries, great, wonderful church. I enjoy it myself. I enjoy the congregation that you have there.
Amen. Amen.
Let me ask you this. Why the Philadelphia Eagles, Jesse? Why are you a Philadelphia Eagles fan? Before we get into what happened? How did that happen to you?
Well, I'll tell you a quick story. You know, of course, the NFL plays on Sunday, 105. Right. And church would let out at 105 or somewhere around 1 o'clock to make sure that everybody could go and check out the Eagles. I lived in Philadelphia. I was born and raised there. And me and my friend, Fred Peggy, we would get his father's car keys, turn the radio on, and listen to the game on the radio. And most of the time, the Eagles were getting slaughtered. When Washington came to town, it would be the Overhill game. I believe that's what they called it. And
George
they
Allen
would be up by 30 in the first quarter, it seemed like. So I've been an Eagle fan since the late 60s,
wow.
Probably 66, 67. Watched them do great things, you know, win the Super Bowl in 2018. And, you know, there's one tidbit fact that I don't know how many people know, but since 2000, the Philadelphia Eagles have won the NFC East 11 times. That's amazing to me.
Wow.
And the NFC East is the division that has won the most Super Bowls. The NFC East is the division that has won the most games. It's just that in the last 3-4 years, you know, they've been the bottom of the NFL. So, but that has not been the case for the history of the NFC East. The Cowboys have won 5. The Giants have won 4. The Redskins have won 3. And my beloved Eagles have won 1 finally.
Well, that's good stuff. You've been there with the Eagles through Norman Snead, Ron Jaworski, Randall Cunningham, to name a few. You've been there with Harold Carmichael. Am I bringing back a smile to your face, Jesse?
Don't forget my man. You got Donovan McNabb, Michael Vick,
yeah,
Carson Wentz, and now the man, Jalen Hurts.
well, let's start right there. Last year, you went 9-8. You made the playoffs. You were second place. You ran into a buzzsaw called the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, and they cut your season short. But what is it going to be this year? Let's look at the quarterback. You mentioned Jalen Hurts. Is he going to step up more this year from last year? He had a good year last year, but the idea of a young quarterback is to take a step forward each year. Can he take another step forward this year?
You know, Jalen Hurts' mindset is one that all people should emulate. If you ever listen to him communicate, he has a thought process that says that I'm getting better every day. Now, his favorite saying is that I'm going to be getting better, 1% better every day. When they asked him the question after he lost to Tampa Bay last year or last season, they asked him what he was going to do. He said, I'm getting ready for 2022 starting tomorrow. The season begins tomorrow for me. And so, do I think that he's going to get better? Well, for 2 reasons. Yes, he's going to get better because of his work ethic and his desire to be great and two, because they have a better complement of receivers and running backs around him.
Okay.
Yeah.
Now,
My question, I guess about Hurts. Now, my history as a sports writer and covering Philadelphia sports. Actually, there was a time I was an Eagles fan. In fact, there was a time I was a fan of all the Philadelphia teams because we used to spend our part of the summer up in Atlantic City and used to get the Eagles preseason games. I forgot what channel it was. I think it was CAU, right? I think that was
Downtown.
But the thing I've always learned about Philly sports is that it's a very impatient fan base. It's a very impatient media corps that covers them. And for a lot of years, it seemed like no championship, be it the Phillies or the Flyers or even the Sixers, it was good, but it was not like a Super Bowl. Now that they've broken through, it seems like it's ratcheted up the expectations even more, even though the winning quarterback, Foles, is gone. That their expectations for Jalen Hurts. My question for you is he going to be allowed to get better 1% every day as opposed to 10 or 15% as the fans and maybe the media might expect?
Well, I think that, yes, I think first of all, he has the coaches he has the coaches' confidence. Sirianni loves Jalen Hurts. He talks about Jalen Hurts effusively. He believes in Jalen Hurts, not only in his running ability, but also his throwing ability, which he really hasn't been one to be known as one that throws the ball a lot. Now, if you have tracked Jalen Hurts' career from Alabama to Oklahoma to the Philadelphia Eagles, he has gotten better every stop that he has gone through. In fact, the fact of the matter is that this year will be the first year where he has had 2 years of the same offensive program. When he was at Alabama, he was more of a running type of quarterback. I'm not sure why, but that's what he was. When he got to Oklahoma, though, he started throwing the ball. And even with Philadelphia Eagles, the game is so much quicker and faster. I think his first instincts were to run. I think this year we're going to really see what he can do in terms of throwing the ball. I think he's going to turn some heads this year. And so he has the opportunity to get 1% better. But you are right. It only takes one game. And the Philadelphia fan base will definitely, it don't even take a whole game. It might only take one quarter. And the whole fan base will turn.
Or one turnover.
It is, but when you come to Philadelphia, you expect that if you don't play well, you're going to get booed and they're going to talk about you. And if you do well, they'll lift you up. I believe every time Foles comes into the city, he's getting free dinners and free lunches and free everything. Because of what the Philly, what was it called? The Philly special?
Philly special.
The Philly special etched in everybody's brain.
Yeah.
And so it's too bad that it wasn't Donovan McNabb, because Donovan McNabb really set the stage. I think Donovan won at least 10 games per season when he was the quarterback. They just couldn't break through to the Super Bowl. And when they did break through, they didn't win it. And it's unfortunate for Donovan, because Donovan, I believe, was a very good quarterback, and should have at least got one chip.
Yeah. I think, you know, when it comes to Philly, as well, with this Philly team, I think that they have the potential not only to win a division, but maybe win a playoff game or two, just because of what you said about his familiarity, you know, just having some continuity, you know, with the offensive system. My question is with Hurts, how, I guess the reality, he wants to pass more, but is that offensive line stable enough to give him time to pass and keep him from instinctively taking off to run, you know, much like Michael Vick, which helped shorten the second part of his career because he took a lot of hits he didn't have to.
Well, you're correct. Michael Vick took a lot of hits, particularly the last year or so, year or 2 years that he was playing with the Philadelphia Eagles. I'm thinking he got hit every play. But, you know, since Howie Roseman has been the general manager, his focus has been every year to make sure that the lines, the offensive line and the defensive line, are the core and the anchor of the team. And, you know, they have some Hall of Famers on that offensive line. And they brought in a couple of rookies. They had a rookie last year. They had a rookie last year in, I can't remember his name offhand. And then they brought in another rookie this year, who is a combination. He plays center and guard. So last year and the year before, they had a lot of injuries on the line, but they were able to put together a line at least enough to have Jalen to throw the ball to our receivers. I'm thinking that this year, if we remain healthy, the lines, the offensive line and the defensive line will make a lot of noise this year if they remain healthy. And they got a couple of older guys on that line, and hopefully they will be able to stay able to play, because it's definitely a very major part of the Eagles' drive, and that is to have those lines, all those lines be the most impact of the team. Yeah, so I think that he will be able to stand up and he will have time to throw, and he has some receivers to throw it to this year. I don't know if you saw that Jalen Reagor got traded to Minnesota. Mm-hmm. I thought he was a good pickup, but he did not materialize. His hands weren't as good. His route running wasn't as good, but he is fast as the Dickens. And I think Minnesota really got a good player, and I think he really needed a fresh start. But we got some receivers this year, you know, AJ and Quez Watkins, and of course Devontae Smith. Those guys can flat out play, and he will have plenty of time to throw it to them. And one of the problems that I thought Jalen had last year was that he was waiting for the receivers to come open. I think this year he's going to be anticipating throwing that ball and let them go up and get that ball, and which will make a major difference in the way that the offense flows.
You mentioned Rager's, and he got traded to Minnesota, and you said he needs a fresh new start. One of the things he was last year was a return man, right? And
yes, he was.
not having him, who's going to take his spot this year as a return man? Because I know special teams, your kicking game was really strong, but there's some concern about your punt game and your return game. So who's going to take Rigger's spot?
Well, they were. I was listening to the Philadelphia station today, and they have this guy named Covey who's on the practice squad that they're thinking about bringing up to handle the punts, and then they're going to have Quez Watkins to handle the returns for kickoffs.
Mhm.
So I think they're going to be okay. Plus, they probably get somebody else going down, going a couple of games into the season. I think that's how they're going to start. But you never know of Howie Roseman. I mean, he's pulling off, this period here, he might have a couple more players come in who are going to fill roster spots that we really, really need.
Would it be a stretch in clutch situations, special situations, to see Devontae Smith back there to return a punt? Would that be a stretch?
He might. I don't think that he will.
Okay.
Devontae. I don't think he's particularly fast. His claim to fame is that he knows how to run routes, and so he's been working on strengthening his hands so that he could catch the ball out of the air and that kind of thing. But I'm not sure that he has that burst of speed that would be needed for a kick returner or a punt returner. Plus, I don't think for him to get hurt.
That's why I said every now and then, not
every now
play.
and then, like once every 5 games.
Yeah. Now, your running game, how's that going to shape up for you this year? You say you got these great receivers, but you need a strong running game to open up that passing game.
Well, to be honest, Sanders just came back, I think, today. Sanders is a very elusive running back and fast. And the issue has been with him being able to stay on the field and being available. I think essentially he's played about 12 games per season, which means that 5 or 6 games he's been missing. So one guy that I thought they were going to keep this year was Huntley, and Huntley he did really very well in preseason. I'm surprised. I have to check the board to see whether or not they brought him back as a practice player. But if I was another team, I saw him that he got cut, I would be trying to get him on my team because the guy's good. And I saw that they had cut Boston Scott. I'm still checking that out to see whether or not he's still on the team, because I like Boston Scott. I mean, if nothing else, man, he would kill New York. But he's a little small back, but he can get it done too. So I don't know. The running game, they seem to have a lot of confidence in the running game, and they will need to have confidence in the running game. I mean, last year, I believe Jalen Hurts was the leading rusher. So we can't have that. I mean, although Jalen he can run. He fits the mold of the Cunninghams, McNabb, Vicks, being able to run. Even Wentz ran a little bit. So, but I don't want to see Jalen running the ball more than once or twice a game.
Yeah. Hey, I want to ask you a question about the receivers. Back to them for a sec. AJ Brown. what are the expectations for him? Where do you think he'll fit in?
Well, he's going to be a #1 receiver. Him and Jalen have been practicing. I don't know. They've been throwing the ball to each other for at least since they've been he was at Alabama. Matter of fact, he was talking
That's right.
today about how the way he met AJ was that they graduated from high school the same year, and he was trying to persuade him to come to Alabama. Well, since that time, they've been friends and they've been working out together. So they should have some type of magic and chemistry with those two. They're expecting him to be the difference maker for the Eagles on offense, because he will open up a lot of lanes for Smith, for Watkins, and that's all they've been talking about is AJ. He's tough, he's rough, and he can play. So that's what the word is. I never really paid that much attention to. I don't really pay attention to other people's teams. But down he's been at the Eagles, I've been checking him out, and he's saying the right things, he's doing the right things, and can't wait to see him perform in the regular season.
Kind of like his rookie year with Tennessee type of year.
Well, we're hoping, yes, because he's going to be the first. When Jalen goes back, he's going to be the first look, and if he's not open, then they'll be going. You know how they Devontae and Randall, but he's going to get a lot of passes this year. He's going to get a lot of passes, and he's going to get a lot of yards downfield. And I think he's primarily a downfield type of receiver, not so much going straight across the middle, maybe one of those down and outs, something like that.
Well, you've told us how you're going to score many different ways. Now let's go to the other side of the ball so you can tell us how you're going to stop some teams. What about that line you got there You re-upped on Fletcher Cox. He's still playing a little bit. He can still plug that middle up. Didn't have a great year last year, but he's going to come back this year. I think he's going to bounce back. And you picked up a couple free agents too. Tell us about him, Jess.
Well, Fletcher Cox is the heart and soul of our defense, to be honest. And last year, the Coach Gannon type of defense was a read and react type of defense, which meant that they kind of slowed the rushing attack. Trying to go after the quarterback. But in the middle of the year, they started. You probably remember when Fletcher Cox came out and said that what we're doing is not working, and then they tried. then you understand that it was like trade rumors the following week, but they kept him, and then the defense got considerably better, except for when they met Tampa Bay in the in the playoffs, and then we really took it across the chin. But the front line has always been one of the dominant aspects of the defense for Philadelphia Eagles. Even going back to days like Reggie White and all those guys.
Wow.
We got another group, and we got another guy, Jordan Davis, who came in from Georgia. And he's a beast. And he's backing up Fletcher Cox. Now, Fletcher Cox is schooling him every single play. But he is a beast. The linebackers have been our weakness, and they're attempting to shore up the linebacker core, but I think they have. They definitely need it because the way that they played the defense, they wanted the linebackers to kind of like clean up everything once the front line were on the quarterback. So we have to see our safeties and our cornerbacks. You know, we just got another. I guess he's a safety slot defensive player. Gardner
Johnson
came from the Saints.
Right.
He has to be good because they got rid of well, actually they put him back on the practice squad. They released him. Anthony, I can't remember his last name, but they released him and then they put him on the practice squad today. So I think the defense, you know, one of the things about the defense this year or last year was whenever someone threw the ball, they was catching it. And that was a concern. Hopefully this year we got better cover, and we also have people who will be able to intercept the ball and, you know, take it back, or at least, you know, get that possession. Our defense was a little weak. If the front four didn't get there, you know, Josh Sweat and Brandon Graham, if these guys didn't get there, we was in trouble. Hopefully this year we will be able to get there and cover a little bit better.
Yeah. You mentioned Jordan Davis earlier. What about the Kobe Dean? I mean,
Kobe Dean.
out of Georgia. I mean, you know what they did for the Bulldogs last year against Alabama in the championship game, if not all year. They keyed probably the stingiest college defense I've seen in a long time.
Sure did.
Yeah. What do you feel like the expectations are for him? Especially being there with his teammate.
Well, Dean, I think, is a marvelous talent. They had a game against Miami, just last game of the preseason, where he got a lot of time, and they expressed some concern about his inability to really see the game and react in the appropriate way. And so, he's a rookie. He needs more time. He'll get some time in the game, probably not as much as Jordan Davis, but he'll be getting into the game. And I think that once he, it takes a few, it's going to take him a few games to really be able to react. In college, you have a few more seconds to react, but in the pro game, one step the wrong way and you're out to play. And he had some flashes. It's not that he's not. He is a beast, but he's playing the linebacker position, and you have to read what the offense is doing and make the right reaction and the right steps in the right direction to be effective. And he is still trying to. He gets sucked in too much. And so he's going to need some time to really get acclimated to the professional game. But I think that once he gets it, it's watch out. He's not a Parsons like over at the Cowboys who come in and just was wiping up everybody. But I think he can get to that level if he gets enough snaps. But right now, he's going to be on the bench.
Yeah, Chauncey Gardner-Johnson was kind of an intriguing pickup at the cut down day. He's one of those guys that I think could be something of a wild card on that defense. What do you think?
Well, I was checking out a few of his highlights. He is definitely a competitor. And I believe he's one of those guys that loves to play football. So I think he'll, one of the things that they said about him is that he liked to talk a lot of trash, and he liked to mix it up on a regular basis, and he has the personality. He's a dog, and so I think he's going to fit in quite well. It was very interesting. I was watching his press conference today because let's see, they aired it today, and I was checking out his press conference, and he said that, "How's the team responding to you?" He named at least 10 people who reached out to him. And then he just said, "Well, the whole team reached out to me." And so they're very happy to get him. I think he's going to make a difference. They have high hopes for him. They have high hopes for him. Let me see, that trade went down, was it Tuesday?
Probably Tuesday, yeah.
Tuesday. He was in camp on Wednesday playing,
Wow.
practicing, and they asked him about how he's going to learn the playbook. He said, "Man, this is football. I've been playing football since I was 5 years old. There's nothing new that I need to learn. I just need to learn the terms." And so he said, "I'm ready to go." So we'll see. We'll see how he does. I'm expecting great things. I hate to see bringing people in and then they fall flat in the face. But the Eagles are known for that. We brought somebody in from Denver who was supposed to be all world, who got burnt every single play. Alzamanga, I can't pronounce his name, came in from Denver. He was all world from Denver, but he could not play and that's one of the things. Just because you play in other divisions don't mean that you can play in the NFC East. NFC East is a dog. And
you mean Nnamdi Asomugha?
Asomugha, yeah.
Yeah, from back in the day.
Back in the day, they brought him in and gave him a big contract, and he couldn't hang. He couldn't hang. They had to release him, I guess, after about 2 years. We've seen enough.
Yeah. But, yeah. He seems to have found another career as an actor.
Yeah. So, it's a situation where we're expecting, we have high hopes this year. I think, this year I'm looking at 11-6, maybe.
You say 11-6?
11-6. Yeah, I'm thinking 11-6. I was looking at the schedule. I'm thinking we probably lose one to the Cowboys. We probably lose one. We've been beating the Saints lately, so I think we might be able to beat the Saints. Depends on who quarterbacking really. We have to play, I believe, Tampa Bay. We have to. I think we have Steelers. I think we could probably beat the Steelers. Steelers are still trying to figure out who they are and what have you, but we play them kind of late in the season. I think we might be able to take at least one from the Giants and at least one or two from the Commanders, because we do know Carson Wentz. But one of the interesting things that tidbit for you guys is that the Eagles are trending younger. They only have 8 players from the 2018 season when they went to the Super Bowl, and they have almost all of their picks playing on the 53-man roster from this year, except for one, and two, and from last year, all of them also playing on the 53-man roster. So they have a lot of young guys, probably 28 and below is on that team. So they're trending younger, unlike, some of the other teams, they have a lot of older veterans and things of that nature. So if we can have a good year this year, it's watch out. We're on our way. But I'm not calling for the Super Bowl. I'm not calling. You won't hear that from me because I've been watching some of those teams in the AFC, and some of those quarterbacks are, Herbert, the rest of those guys, Mahomes and all those guys. I mean, anytime you have, I don't know if the Eagles can do this, where there's 1 minute left and the ball, the teams have scored twice in 1 minute. I don't know if the Eagles can do that, Yeah, we're explosive, but I don't know if we're that explosive.
Well, I know what you're talking about with the Kansas City Buffalo game last year. Just know there aren't too many teams in the league that can do what those two did, Jesse. That was just something special to behold that Sunday afternoon, that Sunday evening.
Yeah.
How about this? Are there any glaring weaknesses that you think Philadelphia has this year that can be exploited?
Probably. I'm wondering about our linebacker core. I'd like to see what they will do this year. And also our running game outside of Jalen Hurts. What will happen with that? Those are the two that I can see. I think our special teams are, is adequate. We have a great kicker. So our lines are fantastic. I think the defense and offensive lines are good lines. And we have a lot of replacements, people who can step in and who can do a great job. Of course, if you ask most Philadelphians, they are going to be watching very closely Jalen Hurts to see how he's going to perform. I mean, they're rooting for him. They believe that he can do it, but they are going to be watching him very closely. I mean, it's not just about for him. It's not just about wins. I mean, we might go 12-5. They might not cut him, but if he can't throw that ball, they will let him go. They will let him go. So I think he can, everybody that all his teammates say he can throw the ball. That's not the problem. He doesn't have people who he could throw to. I mean, we got a great tight end. I hated to see our longtime tight end go over to Arizona, but what can you say? But we got a great tight end. We have great receivers, I believe, upgrade from where we were last year. But I think the weaknesses might be our linebackers and our running backs.
Yeah.
Now you've said,
Tell me that Gardner Minshew, is he getting any kind of love? I mean, does anybody think that he'd step in if Jalen Hurts struggled?
If Jalen Hurts struggle, well, Minshew, no, I don't think they'll put him in. But Minshew, there's no, well, when he was with the Jaguars, I think he was with the Jaguars, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
He didn't have a great record. Now, since he's been with Philadelphia, the games that he played, I believe he won 2 out of 3, if I'm not mistaken, or he might be 2 out of 2. But he has looked like the type of quarterback that the city really needs or would like to have. He's not a runner though, and that's the element that Jalen brings. Now, if he can throw the ball like Minshew throws it, it's no contest. But And, you know, I'm surprised that he's still on the team. I thought he would have gotten traded, you know, because they got so many teams that need a quarterback. You know, I thought that they would have traded him and gotten someone else. I mean, Roseman just brought a quarterback on the team yesterday. Yeah.
Ian Book.
So, you know,
Yeah.
but, you know, I don't have a problem. I don't want him to start, though, Minshew. I don't want him to start, not over Jalen. Because Jalen brings that element, man. You cannot make a mistake on defense. Yeah.
Now, you've said 12-5, 11-6. Which one do you want to go with for the final record?
I have to go to record. The final record would be 11-6.
Does 11-6 win the NFC East?
Oh, yeah.
So that means they will win the NFC East and not the Cowboys or the Commanders or the Giants, correct?
Correct.
All righty.
Unless they got something called cold NFC East champs. I don't know. I don't think I've ever seen that before. Have you?
Nah.
Yeah.
No, somebody's got to win the tiebreaker.
Right.
And Jesse, you won't see it this year either. There will be one champ.
Yeah.
Gary,
Cowboys is the only ones that we think will be there, and they have a lot of issues. So, they got a lot of issues.
We're not going to dissect them, Jesse, because Mr. Pitt doesn't want to hear us go through them again.
No, yeah. Well, I heard you. The man, he said that he thought 12-5.
Yeah, that's what John said. He adjusted it to 10 and 10-7 now
10-7,
when Smith tore his hamstring. But we'll see. Jesse, this has been absolutely great, man. Thank you for being a part of the Daily Deuce. This has been quite a dissection of the Philadelphia Eagles, which we greatly appreciate. Gary, why don't you take us on home, my friend?
Yeah. Jesse, again, we appreciate it. I think the thing that I appreciate what you said is that you didn't go overly fan on us. I mean, you offered a very, very realistic assessment of the Eagles, and you've had time to really kind of dissect this roster. We reserve the right to bring you back at some point during the season to update things, be it Jalen Hurts or just about anything else with Philly. You're more than welcome to come back on. I wish we could have a call-in portion, because I'd love to hear about. I'd love to hear from somebody while we're on the air, and and challenge us and offer a little insight. But one day we'll get to that. Come on back and see us. Thank you again for your time and your insight. John, it's been a pleasure again, and I guess we'll wrap this up another day with the team that's probably going to be looking up at the rest of the division, the New York Giants.
Well, thank you very much for having me, and I appreciate it. And of course, anytime you want me to come on, I will be available, and I'll even be available to jump in on a Zoom call or what have you, and talk with you guys for just 5 or 10 minutes.
All right.
Well, we appreciate it. Follow us on Facebook, subscribe to YouTube. If you have some comments or questions, email them to the Daily Deuce 24/7@gmail.com. Thanks, everyone. Check us out again next week. Have a great weekend. Enjoy some sports, and we'll see you real soon. Take care.
1 week away.
All right.